Hey, this is Kip Winger, and you're watching Lokaos Rock Show.
E aí pessoal, tudo bem? Meu nome é Julia Bueno e eu tô aqui com o Kip, do Winger. Ele tá aqui no Brasil para fazer alguns shows e a gente vai bater um papo rápido com ele sobre a carreira dele e tudo que já rolou por aí. Acompanha com a gente. Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you?
It's great to have you in Brazil. I'm very nice. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you.
So I'm gonna start talking about Get Jack.
Oh, cool.
You're actually now about to release the new musical on Broadway. Tell us a little bit about it.
So Get Jack is written by me and my co-writer Damian Gray, and he's a New York writer, and it's a story about the 5 women Jack the Ripper killed who come back for vengeance on Jack. And it's 2 hours long, 2-act musical theater, and we are about to release the concept album probably in the next 3 or 4 months. So it's being mastered now, and we're doing the artwork. And so the album should be out soon, and then we're trying to get it on stage for a lab in September, and then hopefully in a theater later this year.
How has it been, that experience, to work with Broadway and write a musical and do all that other kind of stuff that is related to music, but not actually like gigs and band, as you had more experience?
So it's very interesting to write to the lyrics that have already been written. I've never done that before. Reb and I write songs, and then I write the lyrics afterwards. So I was writing to the lyrics, and it was a very interesting experience. I liked it a lot, actually. But the musical combines my classical side with my rock music, and so it kind of is the place where I can do, everything that I do is all in Get Jack. So it took me 3.5 years to write it, so it's a big project.
That's cool, because one of our questions is actually about that. In the last years, you've been doing a lot of classical music, and you have your whole history with Winger. Do you think those styles, rock influences you in classical music and the other way around? How do you think that has an impact in the Winger songs from then to now?
Yeah, so studying music over the years has expanded my ability to keep coming up with new ideas that are interesting rather than just writing the same old song over and over again, So I'm always working with different ways to create rock music that's a little different than you would normally hear, and classical music that's more kind of in the rock world, that's a little more powerful and a little bit more heavy and expressive. So they feed each other, and it works for me, but I don't recommend it because it's a lot of work.
Talking a little about Winger now, Winger has this progressive sound that it's more complex and more rich in the technical way to speak about rock music.
Yeah.
But you're commonly associated with the 80s hair metal bands. How do you feel about that comparison, and how do you feel about that in general?
It's fine because we grew out of that era, and when I was in Alice Cooper, and I left Alice Cooper to do my band, Def Leppard and Bon Jovi were the big bands, so I wanted to do something a little bit more progressive, like Yes meets Kiss, and put those things together. And so we did something not like that, but there's a lot more technical stuff going on in the riffs and stuff, so I think as time goes on, people that actually listen know the difference, so it's fine now. And it got us in when we did very well in the beginning, so I do feel like there was some misconceptions about who the band was, and still there are, but I think it's I think for the people that are, especially for the fans, they really understand what the difference is. So.
That's great. Talking a little about Alice Cooper now. You played in Alice Cooper for a couple of years, and Edu from Lokaos, he loves the albums that were released when you were in Alice Cooper.
Oh, awesome.
And we would like to know a little bit, how was that experience for you? How did it feel like to play with the guys and those albums you recorded, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so Alice Cooper is the consummate rock star. He's our Mick Jagger kind of, you know. So learning from Alice Cooper was unbelievable, and I was a waiter waiting tables in New York, and then I got the job and then playing arenas, you know. So it was like all the way to the top like that, you know. And he's very good with interviews, and he's really fun to watch when he's off stage. Very, very funny, and but very serious artist, and extraordinarily talented performer and songwriter. So I owe him a lot, and you know, I got my start with him, and he's very supportive of my career, and I'm very happy to you know, still be able to call him up and stuff, you know, because I was a huge Alice Cooper fan. You know, so
it must have been a dream come true.
Yeah, totally.
Now this one's a tricky one. You've seen Beavis and Butthead. I mean, we all have.
Yeah.
And the nerdy character wore a Winger t-shirt.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that back then? And how do you feel about it now, once many years have passed, and it's kind of a classical mark, Beavis and Butthead, in the cartoon industry and network. So did it change the way you feel about it back then and now, and what was it like?
Well, it was hard for all the 80s bands when that happened, because they were ushering in, you know, White Zombie and Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all of those bands. So it was, you know, all of the 80s bands like us were portrayed as uncool to begin with, and then I was, you know, really singled out by it. So it didn't help me at the time. We all lost our record deals, you know, and all of a sudden we couldn't get a job and stuff. So, but inadvertently it created a opening for me to really study classical music. So instead of go get drunk every night, I like studied through that time, and I did a really hardcore 10 years of studying classical music, and so for me it turned out to be a very good thing, and now it's totally fine. I mean, people are like, how'd you get your name on the t-shirt, you know? So it's and you know, we sell that t-shirt, so it's completely fine with me.
That's great, and you were very smart to use that opportunity that was not so good to make it into hard work and good stuff.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, what's the universe telling me to do right now, you know? So because we couldn't really get it, nobody would book the band, so we all had to go home, you know, for a period of time.
Now, this one's a tricky one as well. There's this Metallica clip where Lars threw darts at a poster, and it's your poster. And I would like to know a little bit more about that. Did you have like something? Was it just for being a jerk?
No, I never met Metallica. I've never met them to this day. I have no idea why that was happening. None whatsoever. I don't think it's. I mean, it's just kind of immature to put down your other musicians and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, I think they were just on a high that they were the biggest band at the time and stuff, and that they, I don't know, he had something against me. I have no idea really. I mean, that would be a question for him.
Sure.
You know, Metallica's Metallica. I just have no idea. I couldn't answer the question. You know.
Okay, fine. Thank you anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Now let's talk about Winger in the current phase. In 2014, you released the latest album after a long time.
Yeah.
And how do you think your fans, especially talking about how you feel that they can interpret and see the difference and the evolution of your sound, how do you think it was the reception of the 2014 album?
Winger 4?
Yeah.
So Winger 4 was the first, after the reunion we did Winger 4, and that was where I kind of put more progressive music into the band. And it's interesting because it didn't go over very well. But now, a lot of people, it's their favorite album after it grew on them after a while, you know. But so, a lot of the musicians really got it. And I admit that I was writing it for musicians, basically. And it didn't do that well, so my answer to that was, you know, Karma, you know, which was much more like the first album. And then, you know, The Crowd Goes Wild, Karma did very well. And then Better Days Comin' was kind of a convergence of the first album and some of the later stuff that I did, you know, that we did. So I think there's evolution there, and we're trying to you know, continually define that. And so, you know, we're going to be writing this year to try to come up with a new album. And it's always difficult to figure out what we, Winger, should do now, because we have, you know, the more progressive side and the more pop side, and how to make that work together and continually make the songwriting really the focus of it.
Do you think that your albums, through the years, they were getting more layered? I mean, you said that most of your fans didn't like the latest album at first, but then it grew in them. Do you think that this evolution of yours and of all of you as a band made your albums get more layers, so you have to not listen just once, but like 3, 4, 10 times to completely get what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's true with me in general. Like, my music doesn't hit you right off the bat unless I'm actually trying to write a hit song. There's a lot of stuff under the hood that you can get emotionally immersed in. But like I say, the Winger 4 was not our last album, but Better Days Comin' was our last album. And Better Days Comin' did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I think our zone is somewhere between you know, that really hard rock sound, but with very interesting chord progressions and kind of weird special licks that are happening, stuff that normal bands wouldn't necessarily try.
You said you're working and you're going to go back to studio to work on a new release. So can your fans be excited?
Yes, I'm committed to making a new album sooner than later. So hopefully I'll make it sooner. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans about the show tonight and about this new phase in your career with the Broadway musicals, with the classical music, with new phases in Winger? Is there anything you want to say?
Thanks for sticking with me through all of this stuff, because normally people, they don't like it when you change. So I've been very active in changing what I do, and the fans have really stuck with me, and I really appreciate that, actually. And and I love being here in Brazil. The fans are amazing here. So, and I like to play the old songs. I like to play the very first album and right up till the very end. So I'm not trying to peddle my new music and don't listen to my old music. I like it all. You know, I like to bring everybody into it, and so I just appreciate, you know, still having a gig basically.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Thank you.
I'm really anxious to be here and to see your show. And can I have a hug?
Sure.
Thank you.